Welcome back, friends. The month just started and here we are at the end of it. Let's take a look back at the chaos that was this past week. First, I am liking the time blocking, but some days were so busy I didn't really keep up with it. And when I skipped a day, like on Thursday, when I went in to do my Friday, I made a mistake and put it in the wrong column. This also happened over the weekend. So today is Sunday morning, and I guess when I was putting in my Saturday, I had in the back of my mind that I had skipped a day, so there should be an extra column, and somehow I put it into the Sunday column. I don't know what I was thinking. So now, for my Sunday, I am actually working in the Saturday column as reflected here by the arrows. I know, super confusing. I'm clearly confused as well. Aside from that, I do have one note I want to share with you as far as the time blocking goes. I realized at some point during this week that what I am completely forgetting about is the transition time between events. So even though something may take a certain amount of time, there will be time between when that finishes and the next thing starts. And sometimes it's just a few minutes, and sometimes it could be a little longer, but all that time adds up throughout the day. So when I think about my day in theory, I see a number of hours, I see tasks that I expect to take a certain amount of time, and mathematically I can make all of that work. But in reality, when you take in those times of transition, I was not taking those into account making my plans. So I think realizing that is really going to help me plan better going forward to have a more realistic timeline and more achievable goals for the day. This is not to say that I'm still not working on trying to organize my time better, but it was definitely an aha moment. I did also like my rules for each day, although I didn't really apply them every day, but on the days that I did, I definitely saw positive results. For example, on Tuesday, I tried to get in a little bit of cleaning. For my half an hour of cleaning today, I picked up around the house a little bit, not completely, and I focused most of my time on doing the dishes because I did have a sink full and now they are nice and clean. On Wednesday, I was being ambitious and was hoping to hit everything. So I was able to get in almost an hour of editing that morning before work, which was awesome. That only worked because I did not have to walk the dog that day. And doing that really gave me a head start on the editing for my 75 hard video. In the afternoon, I did put on some laundry, although unfortunately I did not fold it, but I did finally tackle something on my list of goals, which was to get rid of a certain number of things. And one of the things I needed to look through was some jewelry that a friend was decluttering, and I wanted to look through to see if I wanted anything out of there. So I did spend over an hour on Wednesday night going through a big bag of jewelry. And since this bag has been living in my house for probably 6 months or more, I am absolutely counting all the things that I got rid of from that bag as things that I am myself decluttering. So let me take you back and show you how that went. All right, guys, today's the day. It's time to start looking through things and seeing what I can get rid of. And the first thing I'm taking on is this bag of jewelry. All right, this is the pile I'll be working with. All right, I'm getting towards the end. This is mostly what I'm working with now, trying to untangle this. And here are the items that I am keeping for now. I'm sure you can sense a theme here. It's a blue one. All right, I packed everything up and did the math. I have 66 bracelets. A lot of that accounted for the single bangles, but if any bangles were a set that were attached, I counted them as one. We have 50 pairs of earrings and necklaces combined. That is an even 50. Essentially 6 items that I'm throwing out because they are broken, and 4 miscellaneous items here, and a baggie of random buttons that I'm also counting as one item. On Thursday, again, I did some editing, although that's not reflected here because I didn't actually do my time blocking on Thursday at all. But unfortunately, I ran out of time that day to do anything else. Friday, I was out of the house most of the day, so I barely got done with my tasks for 75 hard, forget doing anything else in terms of cleaning or goals. And then when Sunday came, I had really high hopes that I was going to catch up on some things like I've done in the past few weeks. Unfortunately, I did have a lot of editing, and that did take up all of my Saturday morning and well into the afternoon, which would not have been the case if I was doing some editing every day. The only other thing I was able to fit in on Saturday was another dishwashing session. I do always wipe down the counters when I am doing my dishes, but once a week I do a deep clean of the counters, so I did do that on Saturday as well. It's time to do some cleaning. I have a sink full of dishes here. Before I get to the dishes, I want to deep clean this dish drying rack. As you can see, there's all this brown stuff on the bottom and in the corners, and that is not dirt. Those are the mineral deposits from the water that sits there in that tray. So once in a while, I take some vinegar, I soak everything down, and then I scrub it. And voila, it's looking much better. Now, to get the dishes done. All right, here it is, a dryer full of clean dishes and a nice empty sink. Now, when I show you my cleaning tracker, can you spot the problem? Well, I didn't until this morning when I was thinking about this video. The month of April certainly has 4 weeks. However, here on my tracker, I only have 3 filled in. Now, I can't recall, but typically whenever there are more days on a certain week that falls on 2 months, I would consider that a week belonging to this month. So theoretically, this should have been week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4, and then this would have been a bonus week because the amount of days on week 1 was overwhelmingly in April. But in my cleaning tracker, I do only have 3 weeks filled in. So I'm not sure what happened. Did I not do this as week 1? Did I just fill things in for a previous week where I didn't get stuff done? As you can see, my mind is in full chaos and I don't know what's going on. But what that means is that this coming week, which I typically would have considered a little bonus week where I can get a lot of stuff done and I don't have to keep track of any cleaning, is actually going to be week 4 here in April, which is fine because my house does need a little extra TLC. So for the next few days, the last few days of April, my focus is going to be very much so on getting my cleaning tasks done, because as you can also see, not much has gotten done for the monthly tasks of April. And even though I'm not quite at the end of the quarter, I wish to do at least 1 or 2 more for the quarterly tasks as well. So in the next few days, I have an ambitious goal of getting a lot of these things done here, as well as finishing up my goals for the month. As far as these are concerned, it does not look like I'll be able to get the letter to the health insurance out because I need to get my pay stubs from the new job, which was an unexpected turn of events. And for that, I will have to wait until Friday, which is technically going to be in May. So this goal is for sure getting transferred over into May. In terms of getting rid of 200 things, I was able to get a pretty high number from that jewelry. I don't recall it off the top of my head, but I will put it up on the screen once I watch the video back myself. But I do know it's well over 100. So I absolutely want to get into this goal and get it finished in the next few days. I know my pantry needs going through, and there are a couple of junk drawers that can easily give me a bunch of items to get rid of. In terms of losing 5 pounds, I'm not quite there right now, but the month is not quite over, so we'll see how close I get. And for my mini to-do list for the most important things of the month, I still have a few things on here, but all of them are pretty quick, so I can easily get them all done within one of those half-hour blocks over the next few days. All in all, getting the goals that are actually doable finished by the end of the month is not going to be too hard if I can just get myself to do a little bit each day. And then finally, let's take a look at my habits. I have absolutely fallen off here, even on the things like my vitamins that I've always done pretty well on. I am skipping days every other day. Clearly, what's suffering the most is the flossing. So hopefully I can finish out the month strong with these. Since we're so close to the end of the month, let me talk about May just a little bit. I'm actually not going to be setting that up in this video, primarily because I want to keep my focus on getting things done for April before I start really thinking seriously about May. In this very busy season of life, I really have to adopt my sister's philosophy of thinking about one day at a time. However, when I do set up May midweek, I will record that for you and it will be part of next week's video. I can tell you right now that the focus of May will be a little bit more on work. I will be keeping these habits and probably adding one more. And I will be thinking about the goals for next month as I finish these out. And that's the plan. Just taking some steps forward and trying not to lose sight of my goals. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.